Discipline can change your entire life. Not talent, not luck, not motivation, discipline. The quiet force that makes you act even when you don't feel like it. The invisible engine behind every real transformation. The power of discipline. There is a version of you that already exists in your imagination. Stronger, calmer, more successful, more focused, more confident. You see them sometimes when you say, "One day, I'll be like that." They wake up earlier. They keep their promises. They finish what they start. They don't run away every time life gets hard. You admire that version of you. You think they are far away, but they are not as far as you think. The distance between who you are now and who you want to be is not made of years or luck. It is made of discipline. Discipline is the bridge. We often think discipline is something harsh and cold. Rules, punishment, no fun, no rest. We think of strict teachers, angry parents, painful training. So we run away from the word. We say, "I just want to be motivated. I just want to feel inspired." But motivation is light. It shines for a moment, then fades. Discipline is weight. It stays. Motivation makes you start. Discipline makes you continue. If you rely only on motivation, your life becomes a series of strong beginnings and weak endings. You start many things when you feel excited, and you stop when you feel tired. You say, "This year I'll change," and then you repeat the same patterns. If you build discipline, your life shifts. You start things and you finish them. You say, "I'll do this," and you do it, even on days when you don't want to. You move from "I wish" to "I did." So today, I want to talk to you about the power of discipline. Not as a punishment, but as a gift. Not as something outside you, but as something you can cultivate inside you, step by step. Let's start with a simple truth. You will not always feel like doing what is good for you. You will not always feel like studying. You will not always feel like exercising. You will not always feel like saying no to temptations. You will not always feel like working on your dreams after a long day. You will not always feel like having honest conversations, facing problems, or changing habits. Your feelings are real, but they are unstable. They rise and fall like waves. If your actions are controlled by your feelings, your life will also rise and fall like waves. You will go up when you feel inspired and crash when you feel tired or sad. Discipline is the decision to act according to your values and your goals, not according to your moods. It is the ability to say, "Right now, I don't feel like it, but I decided this matters, so I will do it anyway." That sentence is the heart of discipline. But where does discipline come from? Is it something you either have or don't have? Is it fixed? Is it genetic? No. Discipline is a skill. It can be trained. Think of discipline like a muscle. If you have never trained it, it will be weak. When you try to use it, it will shake. You will feel lazy, unmotivated, unable. But if you train it every day, even with small weights, it grows. You can lift more. You can handle more. Things that felt impossible before start to feel normal. You are not undisciplined by nature. You are simply untrained. And training can begin at any age, in any situation. So, how do we train this muscle? The first step is understanding that discipline does not begin with big changes. It begins with small promises. We often fail because we set huge goals that our current discipline cannot support. We say, "Tomorrow, I will wake up at 4 a.m., run 10 kilometers, study for 6 hours, never touch my phone, and become a new person." Maybe we do it for one day. Then we fall apart. Discipline is not built in one dramatic day. It is built in many ordinary days. So instead of trying to become a hero tomorrow, start with one simple, clear promise today. For example, every day, I will spend 10 to 15 minutes on something important for my future. That's it. Not 5 hours. Not a complete lifestyle change. Just one small block of time that you protect. It could be exercise, study, reading, saving money, practicing a skill, or working on a project. The content can change. The habit is this: there is always a small part of my day reserved for discipline. Why is this so powerful? Because every time you keep that promise, you send a message to yourself. I can trust me. You tell your brain, when I say I will do something, I show up. And that belief, I can trust myself, is the foundation of all discipline. Without that belief, you feel weak inside. You say, what's the point? I never follow through. With that belief, you feel stronger. You say, I'm not perfect, but I keep my commitments. So step 1, choose a small daily promise and keep it. But discipline is not only about doing something every day. It is also about doing the right things, even when the wrong things are easier. Think of discipline as a traffic light between impulse and action. An impulse appears. Eat that. Buy this. Scroll for hours. Skip your workout. Skip your studies. Avoid the difficult talk. If you act immediately, you obey the impulse. That is impulse-driven life. It is fast but often harmful. Discipline introduces a pause. It allows you to ask, if I follow this impulse, what result will I get? Do I really want that result? For example, you feel an impulse to skip your study session and watch videos instead. If you act instantly, you get temporary comfort and long-term stress. If you pause, you might say, if I study now, I'll feel better later. If I skip, I'll suffer later. Discipline helps you choose later over now. This pause is the core of disciplined living. You create space between I feel like it and I do it. At first, this is hard. Impulses feel strong, urgent, loud. Your body feels pulled. But every time you successfully pause and choose differently, the next pause becomes easier. This is how discipline moves from impossible to normal. Another important truth: discipline is not just about doing hard things. It is also about stopping harmful things. We usually think discipline means work more, do more, push harder. But discipline also means stop when it's enough. Say no to what destroys you. Rest when you need to. Discipline is balance, not torture. For example, eating 1 slice of cake occasionally is not a problem. Eating 10 slices every day is. Discipline is not never enjoy anything. Discipline is enjoy without destroying yourself. Another example, working hard is important. Working until you collapse every day is not. Discipline includes keeping boundaries around your energy. I will work during these hours, and I will rest during those hours. Without that, you burn out. Discipline is also about the courage to say no. No to extra commitments you cannot handle. No to people who want you to sacrifice your dreams so they stay comfortable. No to habits that feel good for a moment but kill you slowly. Every no that protects your values is an act of discipline. Let's talk about your relationship with comfort. We live in a world designed to make everything comfortable. Food delivered, entertainment on demand, shortcuts everywhere. Comfort itself is not bad, but too much comfort makes discipline very hard. If your attitude is, I must always feel comfortable, then any effort will feel like an attack. Any discipline will feel like suffering. You will avoid it. But if your attitude is, a little discomfort is okay if it leads to something good, then discipline becomes possible. Discipline is choosing meaningful discomfort over meaningless comfort. Meaningless comfort, scrolling for hours, avoiding responsibility, eating junk because it's easy, never facing problems. This comfort feels good now but hurts later. Meaningful discomfort, waking up a bit earlier, exercising, studying, saving money, having honest conversations, changing habits. This discomfort is not fun now, but brings peace later. Ask yourself, what meaningful discomfort am I willing to accept for the life I want? Your answer to that question is your real discipline level. You cannot have a completely comfortable life and a completely transformed life at the same time. You must choose which one matters more. Another deep aspect of discipline direction. Discipline is not just work hard. You can work very hard on the wrong things and still end up frustrated. Discipline must be connected to clarity. What am I working toward? Why does it matter? If you don't know your why, discipline feels empty. It feels like punishment. You think, why am I doing this? So before you demand discipline from yourself, ask, what do I truly want? In my health, my work, my relationships, my mind? Why is that important? Write it down. Make it specific. I want a strong, healthy body so I can live longer, feel energetic, and respect myself. I want to learn English so I can access more opportunities, understand the world, and express myself freely. I want to get out of debt so I can breathe, help my family, and stop living in fear. I want to build confidence so I can speak, try, and connect without being controlled by anxiety. When the reason is clear, discipline becomes less heavy. You are not just forcing yourself. You are serving your own future. Discipline is your way of saying to your future self, I am taking care of you, even when it's hard for me now. Another truth. Discipline often feels lonely. When you start living with more discipline, some people around you may not understand. They may call you boring, too serious, too strict.
Why?
Because your discipline might highlight their lack of discipline. It makes them uncomfortable. They might say, why are you studying again?
Come relax.
Or, why are you saving money? Let's spend it all. Or, why are you going to the gym? Just chill. Or, why are you sleeping early? Stay up and scroll with us. In those moments, discipline feels like a rebellion. You are choosing a path that is different from the group. That can feel lonely. But remember, your life is yours, not theirs. They won't live with your results. You will. They won't feel your regret at 40, 50, 60 if you never build discipline. You will. They won't stand in your body when it is tired from years of neglect. You will. They won't sit in your mind when it is full of what-ifs because you never tried. You will. So honor your discipline even when others don't. Accept that some people will distance themselves when you stop joining every party and every distraction. It's okay. New people will appear. Those who respect your path. Discipline reshapes your environment. That's part of its power. It also reshapes your identity. Every disciplined act you do becomes a vote for the kind of person you believe you are. You wake up and exercise. You vote. I am someone who cares about my body. You sit down and study. You vote. I am someone who learns. You say no to unnecessary spending. You vote. I am someone who respects my future. You keep your word. You vote. I am someone who can be trusted. More votes, stronger identity. Eventually, it doesn't feel like I'm forcing myself. It feels like this is just who I am. This is the beautiful side of discipline. At first, it feels like effort against yourself. Later, it feels like alignment with yourself. Now let's go to a difficult area, emotions. We often wait for discipline to appear when our emotions are perfect. We say, I'll start when I'm less sad, less anxious, less stressed. But life rarely gives you a long period with no emotional storms. Discipline must sometimes operate in the middle of your emotions. That does not mean ignoring your feelings. It means not letting them completely control your actions. You can be sad and still keep one small promise to yourself. You can be anxious and still do 10 minutes of important work. You can be stressed and still move your body for a short walk. You can be tired and still spend 5 minutes reflecting instead of running away. Discipline in emotional storms is softer. You don't demand huge performance from yourself when you are falling apart. You just ask, what is the smallest disciplined action I can still take today, even in this state? That tiny action protects your identity. Even when I suffer, I don't abandon myself completely. Perhaps the most powerful thing discipline does is protect you from your own extremes. Many of us swing between all and nothing. When we are motivated, we do too much. Extreme diets, extreme workouts, extreme schedules. Then we burn out and do nothing. No effort, no care, no structure. Discipline lives between these extremes. It says, not all, not nothing, just consistent enough. It teaches you how to work sustainably, not suicidally. It teaches you to respect both effort and rest. It prevents the cycle of obsession and collapse. Imagine a line. On one side, chaos, no discipline, no structure, random actions. On the other side, rigidity, no flexibility, no joy, only strict rules. Healthy discipline stands in the middle. Order with flexibility. Rules with humanity. Effort with rest. That is where long-term growth happens. So, how do you start living with more discipline right now in practical terms? First, choose one area to train discipline in. Just one. Don't try to transform every part of your life at the same time. Maybe it's your sleep. Maybe it's your phone use. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's study. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself. Pick one. Second, choose one small daily rule for that area. For example, sleep. I will go to bed at least 30 minutes earlier than usual and avoid my phone in that time. Phone. I will not touch my phone for the first 20 minutes after I wake up. Exercise. I will move my body intentionally for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Study. I will study or practice for at least 20 minutes. Money. I will write down every expense. Self-talk. I will catch at least one negative sentence and replace it with a kinder one every day. Third, prepare your environment to support that rule. If your rule is about sleep, set an alarm for wind down time. Put your phone away from your bed. If your rule is about phone use, charge it in another room at night. If your rule is about exercise, lay out your clothes in advance. If it's about study, clear a small space for your materials. If it's about money, keep a notebook or app ready. If it's about self-talk, keep a journal nearby. Discipline is easier when your environment helps instead of blocks. Fourth, expect resistance and plan for it. Your mind will say, just skip today. You're tired. It doesn't matter. That's normal. Discipline is not about never hearing that voice. It's about answering it. You can say, I hear you, but my rule is small. I can do 10 minutes. I promise myself. Then do it, even if it's imperfect. Fifth, track your discipline. Put a small mark on a calendar or notebook every day you keep your rule. Watch the chain of marks grow. Your brain loves visual progress. It will help you continue. When you miss a day, and you will, don't throw the calendar away. Just start a new chain. The aim is not an endless perfect line. The aim is many lines across months and years. Sixth, regularly remind yourself of your why. When you feel bored or tired, look at your reasons again. Read your own words. Why does this matter? Who will you become if you keep this up? Who will you remain if you don't? Connect discipline emotionally to your future self. Seventh, slowly expand. After a few weeks, when your first discipline rule feels more natural, you can add a second small rule in the same area or another area. Step by step, your life becomes full of small disciplines. Together, they form something big. You will look back and think, when did I become more disciplined? You won't remember a single moment. It will feel like a shift that happened gradually. That is the real power of discipline. It transforms you silently. To end, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you continue living as you are now for the next 5 years. Same habits, same reactions, same relationship with comfort, same level of discipline. Where will you be? How will you feel? Will you be proud? Now imagine you spend those same 5 years training discipline daily, not perfectly but sincerely. You keep small promises. You choose meaningful discomfort. You protect your time. You respect your future self. You fall, but you come back. Where will that version of you be? There is no guarantee of specific achievements. But one thing is certain. That version of you will be stronger, more reliable, more peaceful, more capable, more ready. You will trust yourself. Others will trust you too. Your dreams will not just live in your head. They will begin to live in your calendar, in your habits, in your results. Discipline is not about becoming a machine. It is about becoming a person who can carry their own dreams. So today, don't just listen and feel inspired. Choose one rule, one promise, one small step. Then honor it. Tomorrow, honor it again. Next week, honor it again. Next month, adjust and keep going. Next year, smile at who you've become. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be disciplined enough, long enough. Because in the end, discipline is not part of success. Discipline is success, lived daily, one choice at a time.